Hey guys, welcome back to the Retr-OH show. This is Owen, and we're in the middle of Zelda Hardcore. I think this is episode number 2. We're inside the Great Deku Tree, and we're going to be doing this dungeon today. Alright, so our first enemy that actually poses, kind of a threat, is Deku Babas. I actually did not get a Deku nut from him, but I have a little story about Deku nuts. I'm going to wait and get them from this guy, actually. I think they're about the most useless item in the entire game. They're useful. They stun enemies, whatever, you know, but the most underused item in the game, I'll say that. I never use them. Maybe a little bit in this dungeon just because, you know, you don't have a slingshot, you don't have a boomerang, you don't have anything. You just have Deku nuts. And, you know, I don't know if because this is a hardcore series and, you know, the stakes are higher, I want to stun my enemies. I actually can't take damage, so I want to make sure that I'm not getting hurt as much. I might use them more in this playthrough. I don't know, you know. Here's our first big chest. Alright, so we got the map. As a kid, I used to play this game a lot just to beat the game and not worry about 100%ing or anything like that. And, oh my god, Navi, shut up. Hold that thought. The worst part about Navi is that you just can't skip through her text. She makes you read it all, and it scrolls very slowly. Anyway, used to play this game as a kid a lot, and just play it to beat it, not worry about the playthrough, not worry about the 100% rather. And this guy just tells us how to jump off of cliffs. Anyway, used to play the game. Used to not care about 100%ing it, just wanted to beat it. And then, as I got older, I got much more OCD about 100%ing games. I really like doing that. I really like playing them all the way through. I'm not going to be doing that with this series, obviously, because, you know, it would just take up a lot of time, and, you know, I can't get the heart pieces, so I really couldn't 100% if I wanted to. Anyway, I used to get so disappointed when I opened big chests and they'd have maps and compasses, and now, when you 100%, you realize, you know, at least the first couple of times you 100% until you memorize the dungeons, how valuable those are, because you can get, you know where the chests are. So, I got the slingshot! Yay! I wonder what would happen if you ran out of slingshot ammo in this room. What you have to do is you have to shoot this ladder, and it drops it so you can get out. You could potentially get stuck in here and have to reset the game just because there would be no way out of this room. It's just a recovery heart. That's still a bit disappointing when you open chests and you get recovery hearts. Like, maps, you know, are useful. Recovery hearts you can get from cutting down grass. Gotta fight these little Skulltulas. Little spiders that look like skulls. These are probably the most terrifying enemy to me just because I'm arachnophobic. They're not too bad in this game. In games like, I believe Skyward Sword has really scary ones. They're like huge and they crawl around. Like, these guys are stuck where they are. Like, if you don't run into them, you're fine. But the ones that are on Skyward Sword, they like walk around and like jump at you. And the other thing that was really scary about them is I didn't know how to kill them at first. You have to like flip them on their backs and then you can kill them. It's just really just creepy. But I don't care if you're not arachnophobic. Like, if you look around here, if you were to go into a place like this, you would be terrified. Like, you know, there's one thing about not being afraid of spiders, like little ones, but like, just look at this guy right here. If that guy dropped down in front of you and was just staring you in the face, that would be terrifying. That would be terrifying. Oh no, it's our first puzzle. What should I do? Probably use torches. That's probably a good idea. Oh boy. What could it be? We got the compass, yay! Alright, so another thing about this playthrough, I am probably not going to get nearly half of the golden Skulltulas. So, for those of you who don't know, there's these golden Skulltulas. I'm going to show you one in just a second. This guy right here, he's golden. And what happens is, you kill him, he drops a token. I just picked it up, gold Skulltula token, and there's 100 in the entire game, and there's a house where a bunch of people cursed by the Skulltula live. And the more tokens you get, ow, no, our first damage. The more tokens you get, the better gifts they give you, and the gifts are useful, but they're not, you don't need them for the game, and so I'll probably get as many Skulltulas as are easily accessible. Alright. Epic battle. Alright, guys. Leap of faith. Alright. Skulltula number 3. So yeah, I know I'm getting a lot of Skulltulas right away, and I know I just said that I wasn't gonna get them all. These are the easy ones to get. They're right away, right in your face about it. And slingshot ammo, yay. Later on, they get really complicated to get. There's like even in this dungeon, there's some that are hidden behind a bomb wall. You need to bomb it to open it, and you don't get bombs until you get through the second dungeon. So you would have to beat the second dungeon, come back, and then bomb the wall. So I'm not gonna bother doing those kinds of Skulltulas, you know. Oh, here's the secret, guys. What is it? 23 is number 1, I think. You have to beat them in the order 2, 3, 1, yeah. 23 is number 1. It's weird, the kinds of things you remember from when you're a kid. I couldn't tell you a lot of my relatives' birthdays. I couldn't tell you names of people I just met. But this game, the dialogue in this game, some of the dialogue boxes just stuck in my head so much as a kid that I can quote them, and it's pretty sad that the meaningless little dialogue boxes in a game that came out in the 90s, late 90s, can stick in my head better than, like, my own relatives' birthdays, but it just goes to show, like, you know, the things that you pay attention to aren't always the most important. Navi. I'm trying to kill the enemy right in front of me. This is not time to tell me how to push and pull blocks. Oh, another thing I mentioned in the first episode, but I believe it actually got cut out because it was a bad clip. One thing that I mentioned was, I know I'm not showing a lot of the cutscenes. If you're interested in that, if you want to see the cutscenes or want me to read the voices out or something like that, go ahead and leave me a comment, because I do read the comments, and, you know, I've played this game so many times. This isn't about me, you know, it's about what you guys want, you know, questions you have, comments, you know, your experience, you know. So go ahead, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, if you want me to read the dialogue or do the cutscenes or whatever you want. So this dungeon is pretty linear. You're just going through doors. Basically, we drop down from up there, and so the whole point of the first part of the level was just to get the slingshot and to climb all the way up so we could drop down here. The second part of this dungeon is to get up on this ledge that we're on right now and to push this block here. Because it was too high for us to jump to before, but once we push this block down, we can get back to it. You know, it's a pretty short dungeon. It's the first dungeon in the game, so they do get longer, they do get harder, but you know, this is the first dungeon, so, you know, it's pretty easy, pretty short. They do get more difficult, and more, you know, puzzling. They have really good puzzles in this game. So this is, okay, speaking of puzzles, this is that one. He said, you won't beat my brothers unless you do the order 23 is number 1. So this is the second one. Here's the third one. And here's the first one. And he runs away. So we gotta stop him. Hey, So the other thing that's interesting about these Deku scrubs is I always thought this was really weird. They always reveal secrets when you defeat them. They always tell you something you don't know. So these guys, for instance, they tell you how to beat the boss. I mean, it's pretty obvious how to beat the boss, the first boss, Gohma, but at the same time, these guys blatantly tell you because you've beaten them. I don't know why they can't just run away, because they run away after they tell you, so why don't they just do that in the first place? It's so annoying that I'm going to reveal the secret of Queen Gohma to you. So annoyed that we beat him, that he's out of annoyance, he's going to tell us how to beat his queen. Alright, we're ready to take on the boss. Get a little recovery heart there, and let's do it! This is Gohma. Parasitic armored arachnid Gohma. Even though she doesn't have 8 legs, she's still an arachnid for some reason. Oh! Shoot her in the eye, and then she's stunned, so... Oh my gosh, I'm just missing her. Okay, I got it in 2 cycles. Even as a kid, I believed that she was a pretty easy boss. I don't even think I took any damage, so it does get a lot harder. I'm thinking that the hardcore aspect of this, the part that's going to be really difficult, will start around the time I get to the water temple as adult Link. And there's a heart container. It gives you an extra heart up in the top left corner. And I'm just going to say goodbye. Bye-bye. Which is really sad for me because as a kid, even as a kid, I was so OCD about getting all the heart containers once you beat the bosses. Just because you don't want to miss out on getting that extra health. You know, I never went down and tracked down all the heart pieces, but the heart containers, you know, those I always got. I always wondered why the Great Deku Tree talks in, like, not Old English, but in that older style with thou, with I, hast, you know, like, and all the Kokiri speak perfect modern English. The Triforce? I've heard of that thing before. So, I'll give a little brief origin of, you know, the world story. In Ocarina of Time, there are 3 golden goddesses. They're called Din, Neru, and Furore. And not in that order in particular. There's no hierarchy or anything like that. But basically, Din is fire. Neru is kind of the law. And Furore is the spirits. So you've got the fire, which kind of creates the earth and the land. The law, which, you know, dictates the laws of nature and all that. And then the spirits, which give life to them, and together, as they leave the earth after they've created it, the spot where they leave, they create the Triforce, which is a sign of their power and also contains their power, which is what you're seeing right now. That's the Triforce, and it's always the goal of people in The Legend of Zelda. They always want the Triforce. They want parts of the Triforce. They want the power of the Triforce. They're using the power of the Triforce, something like that, you know. No, no. Great Deku Tree, no! So basically, yeah. We did all we could. We broke the curse, yeah, but it was already too late. He's dying, so. So, now we get the spiritual stone of the forest. Kokiri's emerald. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the other ones are the Goron's ruby and the Zora's sapphire. Anyway, once you combine the 3 stones, you can open the door to the sacred realm, which is where the Triforce is said to be held. So that's why Ganondorf cast a curse on the Great Deku Tree. He wanted the stone, but the Deku Tree wouldn't give it to him. So now we have it, and now we're gonna go see Princess Zelda, who should know what to do with it because she's the protector of the sacred realm, or her family is. Alright, well, on that sad note, I think we are going to call it quits for today. It's been a pretty long episode, and there's sure to be more out there, so thanks for watching. Come again next time. Same bat time, same bat place. This is Owen from the Retro Show, signing off. Shut up, Navi! Shut up!